Chapter 35, Pass Out. Godot stood up and barked loudly. Woof! Everyone cheered. Godot looked glad. Then he telepathed everyone. Can you all hear me? Yes, came the loud reply. Angel stood next to Godot. Just to be clear, she said, is anyone not able to hear Godot? Sorry, just to be clear, she said, is anyone not able to hear Godot when he telepaths the story? There was only the sound of the ocean lapping the shore and a heap of gulls squawking. Good, said Angel. Godot, please continue. Godot looked like he was laughing. Woof, he said, and then continued to telepath the next chapter. Chapter 35, Pass Out. Back in Los Candeles, Toll was still trying to explain to Jax how they could write themselves into the book. His task wasn't made any easier by Halo teasing Jax. Stop it, said Toll. You're supposed to be an angel, and angels are supposed to be good. That's where you're wrong, snapped Halo. Half the problem with your world is that you've got the wrong idea about goodness. You think it's all sugar and spice and all things nice. Well, blag and frogs farts to that. Goodness is wild and powerful and far more adventurous than either of you'll ever dare to believe. So find your own way out of your wretched book. Oh, don't go, called Jax, but it was too late. With a loud farting noise and a puff of silver, Halo had disappeared. No, said Jax, we'll never get out of here. Rubbish, snorted Toll. It's actually good that he's gone. He was being far too silly. Pay attention and we'll be out of here in no time. Surprised at Toll's calm response, Jax cheered up a little. Okay, she said, how do we write ourselves into the book? Although wouldn't it be better if we wrote ourselves out of it? We're clearly in it. That's just it. We're probably not in it, not properly. So we've got to write ourselves in first, and after that we can write ourselves out by imagining and writing a section where we are given a pass out each to get out of the book. Jax rolled her eyes. Okay, she said, weirdo. Toll continued. You know how when you read a book, you always change it a little bit with your mind? Like you might think that the writer has made a castle too small, so you enlarge it with your imagination. Or you mightn't like a character having red hair and freckles, so you make her have dark skin and black eyes. Yes, said Jax. Well, we were reading this book before we were sucked into it, so technically we're still readers, aren't we? Sorry, I've lost my space. I suppose so, answered Jax, but I don't see how that helps. Aren't we trying to become characters or authors so we can make ourselves characters? Toll ignored her. When readers read something, they add bits here and there, and then an entirely new book goes into their minds. That all happens as they read the book. Bits and pieces of their own imagination are added in, so those readers become not only the readers of a book, but also the authors. See? Said Toll. Sort of, said Jax, but they'd be co-authors. And since we're inside the book, how can we still read it and make changes? I'm not sure, said Toll, but let's try. If we close our eyes and remember the book so far, maybe something will happen. I can remember what I read before I got here, and you can remember what you read before you got here, and then we can keep right on reading about the sherbet and the house and Halo. We know he's a character because he just told us. He did, said Jax, starting to catch on to Toll's vision. We just have to imagine ourselves as if we're part of the story, said Toll, because we already are, clearly. Jax nodded. We're in the book for sure, she said. Right inside the book, said Toll, and we've even been talking to one of the characters, so we must be characters as well, don't you see? Oh, come on, let's do it. Toll shut his eyes. Jax shut hers tightly as well. They each began to remember first seeing the little silver book. Then they remembered the different words and images they saw on the pages before they were dragged into the book. After that, they saw themselves speaking to Halo as characters in the book, rather than as people who were trying to live their real lives. And then they started to imagine that they could have a pass out because characters in the book were allowed to have pass outs. And while their eyes were shut and they were in the middle of their imaginations, seeing themselves as characters in a book and not just real people stuck inside a book, someone or something placed a little silver card into their hands. Jax opened her eyes to discover that she had a silver pass out. It worked! We've both got pass outs. We can go home. Toll stared at the silver card in his hand. How did that happen, he asked. And how do they work? Toll turned his card over to read the fine print, but just at that moment, Halo reappeared. Finally, he yawned. I wondered how long you'd take with your teeny tiny human brains. Now let's get out of here, unless you want to look around. No way, said Jax, not now. Toll frowned. You go, he said. I might explore a bit. No way, I can't go without you, said Jax. Oh, come on, said Toll. It'll be fun. We could look for Grank. Okay, said Jax, but not for long. I'm sick of eating sweets. And Halo, how do we work these cards just in case you disappear again? Halo rolled his eyes. I never go for long, he said. Anyway, you simply press the function key and you'll return to wherever the book is. Jax nodded, looking serious. I think the book is with the Jews at the moment, said Halo. So you'll end up back there. Just then there was a movement on the mantelpiece behind Halo's head. What was that? Asked Toll. What? Asked Halo. Something moved, whispered Jax. It must have been a mouse or something. But there's nothing there except... Oh, look, it's a popcorn bracelet. Jax picked it up. Perhaps it's a magic one, she added as she slid the popcorn bracelet onto her wrist. Halo grinned. Neat, he said. I love it, said Jax. Do you think I could keep it? I mean, would anyone mind? Halo shrugged. And take it out of the book, asked Toll as if Jax was stupid. It might be an important part of the plot. You can't just take things out of a book. It would be like tearing out a page or scribbling all over it. Jax frowned. What about all the chocolate you've eaten? That's going to get flushed down your toilet later, said Halo with a rude look. Oh, yeah, said Toll, looking confused. It's all right, said Halo. Everyone interacts with things all the time. It's just a big lie that we're all separate little bodies and have no effect on other things and other people. Toll nodded. Halo sighed. Can't you come back and see Grank some other time? I'll tell you this much. He's definitely in here and you will find him. But if you go home now, you might be able to help those mates of yours who are stuck down in the tunnels. Toll nodded. I forgot about them, he said. What happens inside books, said Halo. Sorry, that's what happens inside books, said Halo. You forget everything. Toll grinned. Anyway, said Halo, nice to have your first training session over and done with, eh? Definitely, said Toll, giving Halo a high five. Thank you. Yes, thank you, said Jax, looking a bit guilty about how angry she'd become with her mentor Angel. One last thing, said Halo. This book wasn't written by you, whoever you are, like it said on the cover. Wasn't it? Asked Toll. No, it was written by your mother, said Halo, looking at Toll. See ya! Oh no, said Jax with a moan. He's gone again. Do you think your mother really wrote this book? I don't know, said Toll. We can ask her when we get home. Let's try our pass-outs. If they work, we can come back and look for Grank another time. Good, said Jax. I need a rest. Toll could see that his friend was tired. To be honest, he was exhausted. They both pressed their function keys at the same time.